קיבלתי היום דיווח מפורט על השיחות בקהיר. אנחנו פועלים כל הזמן להשגת מטרותינו, ובראשן שחרור כל חטופינו והשגת ניצחון מוחלט על חמאס. הניצחון הזה מחייב כניסה לרפיח וחיסול גדודי הטרור שם. זה יקרה, יש תאריך.
هذه المنازل تشكل عليهم خطر.
No progress has been made at the latest round of Gaza truce talks in Egypt, a Hamas official told Reuters on Monday, shortly after Egyptian sources said headway had been made on the agenda. The official, who asked not to be named, said, quote, "There is no change in the position of the occupation, and therefore there is nothing new in the Cairo talks." Israel and Hamas sent teams to Egypt on Sunday for another try at reaching a ceasefire in a deadly conflict that's now been going on for 6 months. US CIA Director William Burns arrived on Saturday, with Qatar and Egypt also in attendance. Early on Monday, the Egyptian Al Qahira News had reported that all parties involved had agreed on basic points. The state-affiliated TV channel said the Hamas and Qatar delegations will return within 2 days to agree on the terms of a final agreement. This comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stressed again on Sunday his country would not agree to a ceasefire without the release of hostages, while Hamas repeated its demands, which include a permanent ceasefire, the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, and a return of displaced outrage over what they see as an unacceptably high Palestinian civilian death toll and humanitarian crisis in Gaza, resulting from Israel's campaign to destroy Hamas. Hamas killed 1,200 people in its rampage into southern Israel on October 7th, according to Israeli tallies. More than 33,100 Palestinians have been killed in the Israeli response, according to the health ministry in Gaza. Netanyahu faces domestic pressure too, with weekly demonstrations in Tel Aviv and now Jerusalem as well. Protesters are pushing the government to make a deal to save the remaining hostages taken in the bloody October 7th attack.
the Israeli military has decided to withdraw more ground troops from the southern Gaza Strip, as a new round of ceasefire talks is set to begin. The move leaves just one brigade, according to a spokesperson for the force on Sunday. They did not give details on reasons for withdrawing soldiers or the numbers involved. Since the start of the year, Israel has been reducing numbers in Gaza to relieve reservists. Ally Washington has been adding pressure to improve the humanitarian situation, especially after last week's killing of several aid workers. Meanwhile, Egypt is preparing to host a new round of talks aimed at reaching a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Both Israel and Hamas said they would attend. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would not agree to a ceasefire until the hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza are released. Hamas said an agreement must secure a complete and comprehensive ceasefire, full withdrawal of forces from areas occupied after October 7th, and freedom of movement of residents across the Gaza Strip. Israel's offensive has focused in the past months on the south of the Gaza Strip. According to Israeli tallies, more than 250 hostages were seized and some 1,200 people killed during Hamas's attack. One of the sites of the tragedy was in Reem, Israel, at a music festival, where more than 300 people lost their lives. Parents like Erez Zarfati returned to the site Sunday to mourn family members killed 6 months prior.
My daughter was 22 years old. Most of our soldiers, most of our very brave, special soldiers are children at the ages of 18 to 21. So this is a war of children.
More than 33,000 Palestinians have been killed in the Israeli offensive, according to the health ministry in Gaza. Rafah has become the last refuge for more than 1 million Palestinians sheltering in the territory near the border with Egypt.